Welcome to Shaman Sense, episode 12, I believe. It's been quite a while since I've posted anything, but I decided today would be a really good time. So it's January, folks, 2017, and I've got to tell you, it's been a really wonderful start to year so far. So what I want to talk today about is something called co-creation. Now, if those of you who haven't really watched any of my episodes before, I'd highly recommend checking out the episode that I speak about vibration and the episode I speak about energy. Those are going to give you some really good, starting points to what exactly I'm talking about today. So, co-creation. What the fuck is co-creation anyway? Co-creation basically is when you are working with someone or something else, and it's expanding both of you. It's expanding your horizons, it's expanding their horizons, it's expanding your universe and your world. Recently, and thanks very much to two amazing people in my life, one by the name of Stanton Hitzroth, so shout out Stanton, and one by the name of Brayton Howard. I have actually been introduced and involved with the work of Abraham Hicks. If any of you guys have checked out any of the podcasts that I did with Eileen so far, there should be more of those coming out this year. You might actually have heard a little bit of something about Abraham Hicks. So, co-creation. Let's imagine, just for a while, that we are bigger than what we think we are. I did an episode about our higher selves as well at one stage, so we are bigger than we think we are. This physical body that we exist in is basically the leading edge, sort of like dense point of all that we are, all that exists. But the greater part of ourselves remains in this sort of non-physical state all the time. And the greater part of everyone and everything remains in this sort of non-physical, vibrating energy state all the time. Now, there are advantages to this, and it is a wonderful thing. The advantage is that everything that we are in this physical body, we get exposed to things daily in and out that cause preferences or desires to sort of rise within us. And these desires, they are held in a very real sort of state, a very real sort of manifested state in this vibrational universe where the greater part of us always exists. And because the greater part of everyone also exists in this place at the same time, we're sort of in constant communication with everyone that we know, everyone that we've ever known, and even everyone on the goddamn planet, and I would say in the multiverse, at this time. So if you want to think of the idea of like your spirit guides, gods, goddesses, all that kind of stuff, this all exists on those levels at the same time. So, co-creation. The reason why I wanted to talk about co-creation is because I was really thinking, just right now, I was watching this episode of the show called Magi, Adventure of Sinbad. It's this new anime that I'm watching now on Netflix, and it was really making me think about people and friendship and the things that I've learned in my life. And, I would not be the man that I am today without having had exposure to people in my life. Wonderful exposure. For example, my ex-wife, whose name is Lisa, if I had never met her, I never would have met my wonderful friends Paul and Cara and Morwena, and I never would have been introduced to ayahuasca, which, as you guys might know, is a big part of my work. So in all of the things and the experiences that happened with my ex-wife and with all these wonderful friends that I made when I was in Taiwan, I became more spiritually aware, more capable in myself, and actually a hell of a lot more loving. And I didn't realize that until probably last year sometime, when I was actually like, well, you know what, there was so much benefit in that relationship, and I'm so very thankful to her. So if anybody out there knows or watches, give Lisa a big hug for me and say, Adrian says thank you. You're an amazing person, and I actually have a lot of love and respect for you. Now, I was just thinking, I mentioned Stanton, my buddy Stanton earlier, and I mentioned Brayton as well. And I'm gonna talk about Brayton a little bit too. But Stanton originally introduced me to the idea of Abraham Hicks a couple of years ago. And at that time, I was quite resistant to it. I was resistant to the idea of channeling. I thought it was something that was like not very good for people in general, because I was thinking like, you never know what you're actually talking to, and maybe you're letting something into your body, and I don't really think like that anymore. The way that I think now is that the greater part of everything that exists multiversally is in the state of pure, positive, loving energy. That's what it is. The universe is full of love. So, Stanton, way back when, a couple of years ago, planted that little seed in my mind of the idea of Abraham Hicks. And then, you know, it was randomly one day I was like looking on YouTube for just advice or ideas on, how to go about eliminating doubt. And one of the videos that popped up was one by Abraham Hicks, and there was this wonderful technique in it, which I'll mention here, which you guys might want to try out if you ever get the inspiration to do so. Is let's say you have a topic that you have a desire on, and the only thing that really keeps you from really feeling the feeling of it and owning the feeling of it is your self-doubt. So what you can do before it gets really started going in any direction, let's say if you can catch it before 15 seconds, just immediately and gently sort of pop your mind to anything else that comes up that's really easy to think about it. Like it can be pink balloons, or people in green dresses, or freaking frogs, or anything like that, and really think about that. Imagine them, think about characteristics of them, and try and think about it for about 15, if you can get up to a minute of thinking about them, that's really good. And then just let it go. And believe it or not, these things which we think about, which are really easy to think about, and we don't have a lot of like desire one way or the other about them, they actually start popping up in your life. And the more you do it, it starts happening very, very quick. Why this eliminates self-doubt is because it shows you the power of focus. It shows you the power of your mind. And if you believe that, okay, so by focusing and thinking about this thing, which I actually didn't give a shit about, I have, so guys, I'm videoing with my phone today because I'm still trying to figure out some camera software, so it might be a little bit shaky, and there might be some sound in the background, but, fuck it. This is what I have right now, and I feel like doing a video. Any. So the idea is that, once you get used to seeing what the power of your voice can actually accomplish, then you build a lot more faith and trust in your ability to actually create what you want in your life. So Stanford like this about 2 years ago. And then, yeah, it was maybe a year ago that I started using it as a video. And then about 6 months ago, I then started listening a lot more to Abraham Hicks, and really getting a deep understanding of how the universe actually works. And I want to give great credit to Brayton Howard here for providing the inspiration for that. Like my relationship with Brayton has really caused me to learn so much about myself and to learn so much about how the universe works. And I'm beginning to do really, really well. Like I'm having these wonderful days, and I'm actually meeting all these really wonderful, interesting people, and letting a lot more sort of openness and acceptance and love and just general fun into my life. And it's been really, really great. So, the point of this video, I guess, is that people are in your life and you are in people's life. And through exposure to you and exposure to them, we have the capability of providing each other with these amazing gifts, the gifts of clarity, through knowing what we don't want and knowing what we do want, and being able to focus that. The gifts of really realizing where you've been conditional in your treatment of others, or others have been conditional in you, and just learning how to not do that and just love anyway. My best friend back home, Damian, if it weren't for that man, I would never have developed the sense of, beginning senses of self-confidence that I had. and being able to talk to people and realizing like, oh, okay, I'm a very funny and smart guy, and I'm actually pretty interesting. And yeah, if it weren't for my friend Jen too, I never would have realized, this aspect of like leadership that exists inside me. So I'm very, very grateful and appreciative of that as well. And if it weren't for Brayton, I wouldn't have had like the self confidence to go walking around the streets of Phnom Penh like shirtless and barefoot, because I enjoy getting sun, and it's really, really fun. So people come into our lives, and yes, there are probably aspects of people that that maybe you don't prefer, but there's this wonderful trick that Abraham teaches, and it's very, very good, and it's very, very wonderful, in that we have the ability through focus and through meditation, um, to guide ourselves to actually thinking about the aspects of things in our life which have given us benefit, and think about the aspects of people in our life which we really, really appreciate. So, to all those people in my life, to Eileen, to Stanton and Karim, and my friend Seb, who Seb actually planted more seeds of meditating more consistently in my mind as well. And my friend Griffin, who I've met here, who's that man provides such a wonderful understanding in me of faith, and the use of faith in your life. And I'm so appreciative of that. And I've met a new friend, Theo, as well. Sorry, Teo. Um, and what I've gained from him in a very, very short amount of time is just that wonderful understanding and knowing of how easy and open friendship and intimacy can be. It's just wonderful, just absolute easy friendship. Things like that are really fantastic. And the wonderful thing about when you recognize these aspects of people coming into your life is that, and something that you should really be aware of and take to heart, is that these aspects of people that are coming into your life are things that are in you, and they're being reflected outward. If they weren't going to be reflected to you, it's not something that's in you. We are very much the creator of our own reality, our own experience. So what we elicit from other people, whether it be something positive or something negative, is, well, it's down to us. It's down to us. How are we choosing to focus? How are we choosing to think about the people in our lives? And this is how I'm choosing to think about all the people in my life. The idea of having this inner being that is the greater part of ourselves, that is non-physically focused in like a vibrational reality. What do I think about inner beings? What do I know about inner beings? Well, we're kind, we're loving, we're unconditionally loving, we're accepting, we're open, we're intimate, we're friendly, we're knowing of our worthiness. And the magic of co-creation that happens when you're in sync with that bigger part of yourself is that even though singularly focused, you are already amazing and wonderful. When you come together and two people are on that same high flying wavelength, the wonders that get produced out of that are just so much greater than what you do singularly. And that's wonderful. That's great benefit. So, to all the people in my life, to everyone I've mentioned in this video, and even people that I haven't mentioned in this video, like maybe my parents or my sister and brother, you have provided such amazing benefit to my life. You have caused me to expand. You've caused me to become a greater being. And I think it's a nice way to start off the new year, just giving some appreciation and love for all these people. To all of you that I've mentioned in this video, I know that you're loving because your inner being is loving. I know that you're fun. I know that you're capable. I know that you are smart. I know that you are open. I know that you are well. And I believe in your goodness, as I believe all these things about me too. So, I hope to make some more episodes of Shaman Sense, and they'll be a bit different than this one. It's just, this popped into my head. I felt like doing it, and yeah, if anyone out there is watching, I appreciate the hell out of you as well. You know, I appreciate you too. So get out there, guys, and thank those co-creators in your life. It doesn't matter what the situation is. There is immense benefit to be gained from everything. So I appreciate you all, and I love you all. All right, guys. Peace.